8-bit 1 byte. It is said. A word is a group of 16 bits. Same as here, 1 byte is a 8 bits. A word is a group of 8 bits. Bits in a word are numbered starting from again 0 to 15 because it is a group of 16 bits. So this is bit, individual bit, and byte is set of 8 bits, and a word is 16 bits, which is 2 bytes. Now coming to the block diagram of a computer, it consists of input devices. This gives the input to the processing unit, that is CPU, which executes, that is which understands and processes that, and gives as an output from the output devices. In between, this CPU consists of main memory as well as source. This is the CPU. Consists of, this is a central processing unit, arithmetic logic unit, memory. This is a heart of the computer, component that actually executes the instructions, organized program which computer what, and this computer does its work in a machine, that is central processing. Here data converts to information as an consists a complex extensive set of electronic circuitry that executes stored program instructions. And here this central processing unit performs steps for each instruction. First step is that means fetches the instructions from the memory, and the second step is that instruction directs that necessary data to be moved from memory to the arithmetic logic unit. These two steps the instruction and together called as time. The third step, arithmetic logic unit, executes arithmetic or logical operations. For example, addition, subtraction, multiplication, go on like that. Logical and or not operations. That is given control and performs the actual operation on the data. Of this in memory or in this fourth together confusion time. Now coming to the memory, again here in this memory we are having two types of memories. Primary memory and secondary memory. That is, memory is a brain of a computer which stores data and information, storing and retrieval. Like our human brain, memory is, it is storage space. Same as for computer, it is a storage space like a physical device which is data or program permanently. Permanent to be secondary storage and temporarily is primary storage. Is nothing but why we call it as primary memory is a memory. The data is liable to change or loss power failure. Where in case of secondary memory, it is a permanent storage device. That means when power failure, we cannot lose the data. Primary memory is a memory of a computer which can be directly accessed by the central processing unit. When we store the data in a primary, then the computer can be accessed. That is, we can access the information very fastly. It is a memory which is stored frequently and programs frequently used programs which can be directly accessed by the processing unit for further purpose. Every application on a computer first loads in RAM, that is random access memory, which makes it faster to access. So this refers to an internal memory such as internal storage devices. Now coming to secondary memory, it refers to exercises, that is, the data stores or information it is storing is permanent. The data cannot be processed by the processing unit in secondary memory, but it transfers the data first into and then it transfers by processing unit. From there we can access the data. Memory refers to all external devices such as floppy disk, hard disk, magnetic tapes, CDs, DVDs, etc. These are than primary memory. but can store substantial amount of data, gigabytes and terabytes. To connect all these peripherals, we need now ports. We'll see what are all the port. Port refers to a hardware or peripheral is a hole or connection found on the front or back of the computer. Port serves as an interface between the and other computer peripheral devices. Port referred as a of computing device available for connection to peripherals as input and output devices. These are all the input and output devices. For connecting these input devices and output devices for our CPU, we need ports and connection. Computer many uses. These connect monitors, webcam, speakers, or any other peripheral devices. On physical layer, a computer port is a specialized outlet on a piece of equipment to which or a cable connects. Again, in this port, it is divided into two groups based on signal transfer. Sends and receives one bit at a time via a single wire pair. Coming to parallel port, sends multiple bits at the same over several set of wires. After ports are connected, they typically require handshaking, where transfer type, transfer rate, and necessary information before data is sent. bend pins. These pins are placed on a cable than on a connector attached to the computer. So it was common to use connectors for the fixed size of a. If that side is fixed, then we are using better connectors rather than ports. Now coming to input devices. Input devices only allow for input of data, and it processes the CPU and sends the output to the output devices. The most commonly used input devices are keyboard, microphone, webcam. Keyboard and mouse input from the user and sends that data to the computer. Use information computer. Coming to microphone, it receives sound generated by a source and sends that sound to a computer. Coming to webcam, it receives image generated by whatever it is pointed and sent images to the computer. Input devices. Coming to output device, any that receives data from the computer, usually we'll see that from on the it is physical representation. exam monitor and printer. These are the two most common output devices with a computer. We come to a monitor, that is a display screen and your card, which all output devices. These are all our output devices. A printer is also very commonly used with computers, depending on the type of computer and how the computer is used. Others may be used a computer, for example, plotter, projector, LCD projection plane, computer output, microphone, speakers, visual display unit, film recorder, some of the output devices. This is about block diagram of a computer. Input devices, CPU, output device, memory, devices. Right? What are all the input devices? Keyboard, mouse, and output devices, printer, plotter, etc. And in the memory, we have discussed about primary memory and secondary memory, storage, primary storage and secondary storage, and see which processes the given information. This is about diagram of a what is a computer? It is a machine which accepts data and processes it and sends that processed information to the output devices as a result. This is the computer. A computer is an electronic machine which understands machine zeros and ones, represents bit. These are binary digits. That is, bit is abbreviated as binary digit. It is defined as a smallest unit of data on a binary computer or digital system. It holds either or 1. Now we'll see byte. Byte is defined as a group of 8 bits is called a byte. Bits in a byte are represented from 0 to 1. Bit on the side, that is the least significant bits, and here we have 8 bits, that is starting from 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the most significant bit, and the offset how it represents is 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, so on up to 7. 2 power as well, 2 power 728. What about 8 bit byte? 1 byte. A group of 16 bits. Same as here is a ever of 8 bits. Or numbered starting 0 to 15 is a group of bits. Individual bit byte set of 8, and a word is 16 bits, which is 2 bytes. To the block diagram of it, as the input process is CPU, which stands as an output in this memory as well as peripheral. This is the CPU. This is a central process which consists of arithmetic and a memory. This is a heart of the. This is the actually executes the instructions in a program. The computer what to do. This computer does its work in a part that is the central unit. Here data converts into information as output. Here a highly extensive set of electronic circuitry that executes instructions. And here this central processing unit 4 steps for each instruction. First step is it gets, that means fetches the instructions from the memory, and the second step is that instruction and direct that necessary data moved from memory to the arithmetic logic unit. Two steps are together called instruction time. First and step are together called as instruction time. Now coming to the third step, arithmetic logic unit executes arithmetic or logical operations. For example, arithmetic means addition, subtraction, multiplication, go on like that. Same as and or not operations. That is, the ALU is given control and the actual operation on the data. This stores the result of this operation in memory or in a register. This third and fourth step together called as execution time. Into the memory. In this memory, we have two types of memory. Primary memory and memory. That is memory brain of a computer data and for storing and retrieval. Same just like our human brain, memory is it is storage space. For computer, it is a storage space like a physical device which is capable of storing data, RAM, temporarily or permanently. Permanently is said to be secondary storage and temporarily is primary thing. But why we call it as primary memory is a volatile memory. The data is liable to change in case of power failure, where in case of memory, it is a permanent device. That means failure because the data is a of a computer directly accessed by the central processing unit. When we store the data in a primary, then the computer can be accessed. That is, we can action very fastly. It is a memory which is used to store frequently and programs directly access processing unit for other purpose. Every application first loads into RAM, that is random access, which makes it faster to access. So this refers to an internal memory such as internal storage devices. Now coming to secondary memory, it refers to external storage. The data stores or information it is storing is permanent. Data cannot be damaged by the process in secondary. First, the into the processing. From there, we the secondary to all devices, hard disk, tapes, DVDs. These are general memory, but substance of data of and terabytes. All this we need and connect. See, port a peripheral connection front of the computer. Port and in the other comes word as of is for in output all the and just these input device and output for ports as computer port uses these monitors, webcam, speakers, peripheral devices. On a is a special on a piece of a plug or a connects port. It is divided into two groups. based on the serial port. Sends 1 bit via wire pair to parallel sends bits time over 7 wires. Also connected the handshake where transfer rate other necessary is shipped before send. These pins easier to replace cable a connector attached to the computer. So it was called connectors for the fixed size of a base. If that size then we are using better connector than ports. Now coming to input devices. Input devices only allow for input of data to a computer and it processes that CPU and output. The used input devices are keyboard, microphone, key which accepts the input and sends that data. They cannot reproduce information from the computer. To microphone, it receives generated by an input and sends to a computer. To webcam, it receives generated by it and those images to. This is about input devices. Coming to output devices, is any peripheral is the data usually from on the display. Projection, it is reproduction. Monitor, most devices, the computer. Computer has a monitor, that is a display, a sound and video card, which are all devices. Output devices. A printer is also very commonly used depending on the type of computer, how the computer is used. Other output devices with a, for example, projector, LCD computer output, headphone display unit, film recorder output devices. About block way computer. Input device CPU, storage devices. Control the mouse and output devices, etc. Memory, about primary memory and second primary storage which processes the given information. About the block diagram of a what is a computer? It is a machine which accepts and processes it, sends that processed information to the output device. As a result, the computer is an electronic which and machine language, that is zeros and represents bit binary digits. Bit is as binary. It is defined as a unit on a binary computer or digital system. It holds, that is bits holds either 0 or byte. Byte is group of byte. It's in a byte or from 1. Bit its side, that is the significant bit. Zeros, we have 8 bits, that is starting from 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. So left side is the significant bit. That how it represents is 2 power 1, 2 power 3 up to 2 power. That represents 2 power 0 is 1 as well, 2 power 28. This is what about 8 1 be 1 byte. A word of 6, same as here, is a 8 bit. A word is a group of 8 bits. In a word starting from again 0 to 9 because 6. So this is bit and byte sets is 16 bits, 2 bytes. Now diagram of it consists of these input processing unit, that is executes, understands and an output from the output. In the CPU main memory and storage peripherals. This is the consists of this is a central processing unit which consists a control unit, arithmetic logic and a memory. This is a hardware component that actually executes the instruction organized in a program which tells the computer, and this computer does its work in a part that is the processing unit that converts data to as an it can highly complex use set of electronic circuit execute functions. And here this processing unit for each first it means fetches from memory, and this decodation and that necessary to be memory arithmetic unit. Two steps are called as action time. First step or together instruction. Now coming to the third step, arithmetic logic unit executes or logic. For example, addition, subtraction, multiplication, go on like that. Logical and operations. That is, two is given role comes the actual on the this result of this operation memory or in this third together execution. Now coming memory. Here in this we are having memory. Memory brain of a which and info for and same just brain. Memory is a space. So it is a store like a physical which is data or performed to be is call it as memory wallet. The data is liable to change in failure. Case of memory permanent device when we cannot the primary memory which can be accessed by central unit. The data memory, the computer, we can information fastly. It is used to frequent program used which can be accessed by processing unit purpose. Even on a loads RAM it to access. So this memory internal devices. So it refers storage device store information permanent. Data can process unit. It transfers the data into the and this processing from the access memory refers to external devices as magnetic CDs etc. Generally slower memory store sheer amount in the gigabytes. All this need now and can see what refers to a hardware peripheral is or found front of the computer. Port serves is between the and computer press. The terms for art of eyes for to such as devices. These are all the input and output device. For connected device, put devices our CPU and connection. The ports uses these monitor oral device on the a computer port is a specialized outlet on a piece of equipment to which a plug or a kits. Again in this port, it is divided into based on the transfer. See sends and receives one bit at a time via wire pair. Coming to port, sends multiple bits at the same time over several set of wires. The ports are connected require handshaking, where transfer rate and information is shared before data is sent. Bend These pins are easier to on a cable than on a connector attached to the computer. So, to use connectors for the fixed size interface. If that side is fixed, then using better connectors rather than ports. Now coming to input devices. Input devices only allow for input of data and it processes that from the CPU and sends the output to the output devices. The most commonly used input devices are keyboard, mouse, webcam. Keyboard and mouse will input from the user sends that data to the computer. Or reproduce information to microphone. It receives sound generated by an input source and sends that sound to a computer. Coming to web, receives images generated by whatever it is pointed at input and images to the computer. This is output devices. Coming to output device peripheral that receives from the computer. We'll see that on the projection. It is physical monitor. These are the two most devices used in a computer. Every computer has a display screen, a sound card, video card, which are all output devices. These are all are output devices. A printer is also commonly used depending on the type of computer and how the computer is used. Other output devices with a, for example, plotter, projection plane, computer, micro, speakers, headphone, visual, film recorder. These are some of the output. This is about block devices, input devices, all the input devices and our printer, plotter, display screen, etc. And in the we have primary memory, which and secondary and CPU which given information about the block diagram. What is a computer? Is a machine data and processes it and sends that processed information output device result. Computer is an electron which machine language that is zeros represents bit bytes that is abbreviated binary. It is the smallest data computer digital system. It holds either or one. Now byte is group bits. Byte. Bits in a byte are from 0 to 1. That is bit on the right side that is significant zeros and here we have 8 bits that is starting from 0 to 7. 0, 3, 4, 5. So left side is the most significant bit and the options is 2 to power 1, 2 power 3, so on up to 2 power 7. That represents 2 power 1 as well. 2 power 7 is 1. This is what about 8 bit 1 byte. A word is a group of 16 same as here 1 by 8 bits. A word of 8 bits or number again 0 to 9 because it is 16 bits. This is bit, individual bit, and byte is bits is 16 bits, 2 bytes. Coming to the block diameter, it consists of input devices gives the input processing unit which that is and processes that as an output devices. In between, this CPU consists of memory as well as peripherals. This is the CPU, that is it consists of this is a central processing unit, a control arithmetic and a this is a computer component that actually executes program the computer what to do, and this computes its work in machine central unit, the input data and output. Here it can highly complex electron that stored instructions, and its central processing comes 4 steps each. First, it fetches the instructions from memory, and the second step is this decodes that instruction and directs that necessary data to be moved from memory to the arithmetic logic unit. These are together called as instruction time. First step and second step are together called instruction time. Now coming to the third step, arithmetic logic unit executes or logical operations. For example, arithmetic means addition, subtraction, multiplication, go on like that. Same as logical and or not operations. That is, the ALU is given control and performs the operation on the data. This stores of this operation in memory or in a register. And fourth step together called as action time. Now coming to the memory. Here in this memory, two types of memories. Primary memory and second. That is memory brain of a computer, data and information for storing, same just like our memory storage space, same as for computer it is a storage space like a physical device which is capable of storing data or programs temporarily or permanently. Permanently is said to be secondary storage and temporarily is primary storage. Is nothing but why we call it as primary memory is a memory. The data is liable to loss in case of power failure. Where in case of memory, it is a permanent storage device. That means when power failure, we cannot lose the data. memory is a memory of a computer which can be directly accessed by the central processing unit. When we store the data in a primary memory, the computer can be accessed. We can action very fast. It is a memory which is used to store frequently and programs frequently used which can be directly accessed processing unit for further purpose. Every application on a computer first loads RAM, that is random memory, which makes it fast access. So this refers to internal memory, internal storage. Now coming to second, it refers to external storage, that is the source or information it is storing be directly processed by it in second, but it transfers first in and the processing unit from the access. C refers to all external devices such as floppy disk, magnetic CDs, these are than primary memory store substantial of data in the range of gigabytes and terabytes. To peripherals, port sections. We'll see what are all the port. Port refers hardware or peripheral whole or found on the front or back of the computer. This port serves as an interface between the computer and computer PES. In computer terms, referred as a part of device available for connection to peripherals, input and output. These are all the input devices. For connecting these input devices and output devices for our CPU, we need ports and connections. Computer ports have many uses. These connect meters or any other peripheral on physics. A computer specialized outlet of equipment which a pluggable connects. Again, in this port, it is divided into two groups. Signal serial port receives at a time a single wire pair to parallel port. Several bits at a time set of wires. After connected, they typically require where transfer type rate and information is shared before data is bend pins or replace on a than on a connector attached to the computer. So common to use connectors for the fixed size of a if that side is fixed, then using better connectors rather than ports. Coming to input devices, only for input of data a computer and from the CPU and sends the to the output devices. The most commonly used input devices are keyboard, mouse, webcam. Keyboard and mouse, which accepts the input from the user and sends the computer, they cannot reproduce information from the computer. Coming to microphone, it receives sound generated by an input and sends that sound to a computer. To webcam, it receives images generated by it is pointed at input and sends images to the computer. This is about input devices. Coming to output devices, output device is any peripheral that receives the data from the computer. Usually, we'll see that on the display. Projection or it is physical reproduction. Example, monitor and printer. These are the two most common output devices used with a computer. Every computer has a monitor, that is a display screen, a sound and video card, which are all output devices. These are all output devices. A printer is also very commonly used with computers, the type of computer and how the computer is used. Other output devices may be used with a example, projector, LCD projection plate, compute, microfilm, speakers, headphone, visual display unit, film recorder. These are all the some of the output devices. This is about block diagram of a computer. Input device, CPU, storage device. Right? What are the input devices? Keyboard and output devices, printer, plotter, etc. And in the memory, we have discussed about primary memory, same as storage, primary storage and secondary storage, and CPU processes the given information. This is about the block diagram of a. What is a computer? It is a machine which accepts data and processes it and sends that processed information to the output devices. This is the computer. A computer is an electronic machine, understands machine language, that is zeros and ones. Represents bit. This is a binary digits. That is, bit is abbreviated as digit. It is defined as a smallest unit of data on a binary computer or digital system. It holds, that is, either 0 or 1. Now we'll see byte. Byte is defined as a group of 8 byte. Bits in a byte or represented from 0 to that is bit on side, that is the least 6 zeros, and here we have, that is starting from 0 to 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the most significant bit. And the offset, how it represents is 0 to power 1, to power 2, to power 3, so on up to 2 power 7. That represents 2 power 0 is 1, as well 2 power 7 is 1. What about 8 bit 1 byte? It is said to be 1 byte. A word is a group of 16 bits. Same as 1 is 8 bits. A word is a group of 8 bits. Bits are numbered starting from again 0 to 50, because it is a group of 16 bits. So this is bit, individual bit, and byte, set of 8 bits, and 16 bits, which is 2 bytes. Now coming to the block diagram of a computer, It consists of input devices. These gives the input to the processing unit, that is the CPU, which that is which understands and processes that and gives as an output from the output devices. Between consists of main memory as well as storage peripherals. This is the CPU. That is, it consists of, this is a central processing unit which consists it arithmetic logic unit and a, this CPU is a heart of the computer. This is the component instructions in a program which tells the computer what to do. This computer, it's in a part of the machine, that is the central processing unit. Here the data, input data, output. Complex extensive set of that executes program instructions. And here it, this central processing unit performs steps for each instance. First step is that means fetches the instructions from the memory, and the second step is this decodes that instruction and directs that necessary data to be moved from memory to the arithmetic logic unit. These two steps are together called as instruction time. First step, second step are together called as instruction time. Now coming to the third step, arithmetic logic unit executes arithmetic or logical. Arithmetic means addition, subtraction, multiplication, go on like that. Same as logical and or not operations. That is, the ALU is given control and performs the actual operation on the data. Stores this operation in memory in a third and fourth step together called as execution time. Now coming to the memory. Again here in this memory we are having two types of memory. Primary memory and secondary memory. That is, memory is a brain of a computer which stores information for storing and retrieval. For human brain, memory is storage space. Same as for computer, it is a storage space like a physical device which is capable of storing data or programs temporarily or permanently. Permanently is said to be secondary storage and temporarily is primary storage. Is nothing but why we call it as primary memory is a volatile memory. The data is liable to change or loss in case of power failure. Where in case of secondary memory, it is a permanent storage device. That means when power failure, we cannot lose the data. Primary is a memory of a computer which can be directly accessed by the central processing unit. When we store data in primary memory, then the computer can be accessed the information very fastly. It is to store frequently and programs frequently used programs which can be directly accessed by the processing unit for the purpose. Every application on a computer first the random access memory, which makes it fast access. So this Intel memory as in storage devices. Now, coming to secondary memory, it refers to external storage devices, that is, the data stores it is the data cannot be directly processed by the processing unit in secondary memory, but it transfers the data